The world is on the brink of a financial revolution, but not the one you've been promised. It's called a central bank digital currency, or CBDC. They're telling you it's the future dollar, faster, safer, and more efficient. But what they're not telling you is that it's the ultimate tool of control. Behind the curtain, pulling the strings, are the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. They are orchestrating a global shift away from physical cash, not for your benefit, but for theirs. This isn't about progress, it's about power. And today, we're exposing their three-step plan to kill cash and seize control of your financial future. Stick around, because what you're about to hear will change how you see the money in your wallet forever. First, let's look at the official story. The World Bank and global financial leaders are promoting CBDCs with a very polished sales pitch. They claim it's about financial inclusion, bringing banking to the unbanked millions. They talk about efficiency, instant transactions, and a powerful new tool to fight crime, money laundering, and tax evasion. It all sounds great on the surface. But this is where the public narrative ends and the hidden agenda begins. The real cost of this so-called efficiency is the complete and total annihilation of your financial privacy. Every single transaction you make, from buying a coffee to paying your rent, will be recorded on a centralized government ledger. Anonymity will become a relic of the past. Think about what that means. Every purchase, every donation, every financial decision you make will be tracked, analyzed, and stored. This isn't just about reducing crime. It's about creating a system of perfect surveillance. The real why behind the push for CBDCs is to eliminate the last bastion of financial freedom you have: physical cash. Once cash is gone, so is your ability to transact without being watched. This is step one of their agenda. Sell the public on convenience while quietly building the infrastructure for total control. Now we get to the core of the plan, the how. How will they use this new digital dollar to control you? It comes down to two terrifying mechanisms that are impossible with physical cash. The first is programmable money. Imagine your salary hitting your account, but with strings attached. The government could decide that a certain percentage of your money must be spent within the month, or it simply vanishes. They could restrict you from buying certain products. Maybe you've exceeded your carbon footprint, so your digital dollars won't work at the gas station. Maybe they want to stimulate a specific sector of the economy, so your money can only be spent on government-approved goods and services. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's a feature that central bankers are openly discussing. It turns your money from an asset you own into a permission slip granted by the state. The second mechanism is even more direct: deep negative interest rates. Right now, if a bank tried to charge you a significant fee just to hold your money, you could simply withdraw it as cash and put it under your mattress. Physical cash provides a zero-interest floor. But in a fully digital, cash-free world, there is no escape to force you to spend and stimulate the economy. A central bank could simply apply a negative interest rate directly to your digital wallet. Every month, your savings balance would shrink, not because of inflation, but by direct policy. They would be actively taking your money to force your economic behavior. It's the ultimate tool for economic manipulation, where saving becomes impossible and you are forced to spend or lose your wealth. And as they build this digital framework, our online financial activity becomes more exposed than ever. Protecting your digital footprint is no longer just about social media. It's about securing your financial sovereignty. Using a reliable VPN to encrypt your internet connection is a foundational step in shielding your digital life from unwanted surveillance. So, how do you protect yourself from this system of centralized control? It's not about hiding cash under the floorboards anymore. The game has changed, and so must our strategies. Here is the Future Files Action Plan. First, understand the power of true decentralization. This means looking at cryptocurrencies that are genuinely decentralized, like Bitcoin, not corporate-controlled tokens. These assets operate outside the traditional banking system and cannot be easily seized, frozen, or controlled by a central authority. They represent a parallel financial system. Second, don't forget the time-tested value of hard assets. Physical gold and silver have been a store of wealth for thousands of years for a reason. They are tangible, have no counterparty risk, and exist completely outside the digital domain that governments are so desperate to control. Owning precious metals is a direct hedge against the devaluation and control mechanisms of a CBDC. Finally, start building resilient, local networks. Get to know your community. Explore barter, trade, and local exchange systems. A strong community that can trade goods and services directly is far less dependent on a centralized, fragile financial system. These three strategies: decentralized digital assets, hard physical assets, and strong local networks are your pillars of financial defense in the coming era. Let's be clear about what's happening. The World Bank and IMF are pushing for a cashless society under the guise of progress and inclusion. But the reality is a system designed for unprecedented control. Programmable money and negative interest rates aren't bugs. They are the core features. They will give governments the power to dictate how, when, and where you spend your own money, and even to shrink your savings by decree. This isn't some distant dystopian future. The pilot programs are already rolling out across the globe. The time to act is now. To protect your digital sovereignty and shield your online activity from prying eyes, you need a powerful defense. That's why we strongly recommend using a top-tier VPN service. It's your first line of defense in this new digital battleground. Click the link in the description below to secure your connection and take back control of your privacy. And if you want to stay ahead of these agendas and understand the forces shaping our world, make sure you subscribe to the Future Files and turn on notifications. Our next investigation is already underway. Thank you for watching.